Well, it's about time for me to send back my test Raptor, so I thought I would just do a quick follow-up video. All right, I'm going to stop myself real quick because I want to show you some photos that Rod just sent me. This is, again, he's committed to making everything here in the USA. It's a big feature that he really likes to make sure people are aware of. So he wanted to, he's pretty proud of his product, pretty proud of his employees. You can see here he's got some Raptor assemblies and T-Rex uprights that he's working on. He's got a number of CNC machines, and he sent me some of these pics just to show them, kind of doing their thing. You can see there's some bridges right there, and looks like some stands. More stuff going on. Yeah, there's a bridge assembly. There's the actual, the upright for the front rest holder. And everything here is what they call in the white. So that's all just the bare aluminum. It'll then get sent out for anodization. So let's get back to the video. I had a chance to shoot both the California State Championship with this. Got to show it off to a bunch of people. There were actually 4 or 5 people out there that already had a T-Rex. And I think at least one of them already had the Raptor update on order. But the people that did have T-Rexes, they were happy seeing it. They thought it was a nice addition if they wanted to update their T-Rex. I've also shot a couple club matches with it now. And I got to send it back because it's not mine. He was just letting me test with it. But I thought I would just kind of talk about, my experience with it and my thoughts. So let's start with just the compact nature of it. Now, I don't normally run the fore-end stop like this, but I do have it installed because I was actually testing another stock. And, the fact that he makes it, it kind of double duties, right? Like he makes it so that you can very easily set your fore-end stop if you need to in a hurry, because it is actually the same width as a fore-end. And it tucks in there real nicely. So for transport purposes, it's great. I believe, again, this is more of a beta version. It weighs in about 17 pounds. The new one is going to be somewhere in the 14-pound range. He is going to be shortening this tongue right here, so when it tucks up, it should be pretty close to flush. He just found that it wasn't necessary to have one quite that long, and it helped with the compact nature of it. The felt pads that are on here are obviously an update to the roller pads that he also offers. So he's branching out. He's got a sandbag. He's got the felt pads. He's got the roller pads. I have no doubt, knowing him, that he's probably going to create other, attachments for the top. And, I think that just gives people more choices. So that's great. I really liked the felt. It has just enough give that when you put your fore end in, it creates some pressure, but it does allow it just the slightest amount of give. But when your stock's in there, it doesn't rotate, it doesn't pivot on the stock at all. As in previous models with the T-Rex, you can adjust how smooth this is. I think Rod likes to actually shoot his pretty loose. I like mine a lot tighter. This is pretty close to what I like mine at. It's got quite a bit of friction on it. Just personal preference. You can actually tighten it down to where it almost doesn't move if you really wanted to. But just as with his T-Rex, I've never had any problems, no matter how loose it is shooting. My preference is just to have it a little bit looser. The knob right here to raise and lower the bridge is in really, if there was one single thing that I'm excited he added, that would be it. The ability to, fold this down and store it away without having to, always have this like the T-Rex did, I think is great. And again, that's an upgrade as that you can also get for the T-Rex. It just replaces the existing knob that's on there. As far as how it operated, I was really happy with the amount of friction that it applies once it's been elevated. So once it's up in the position that I want it, I didn't have to worry about tightening anything down. There's enough pressure where, we talked about this, you can really exert quite a bit of force, and certainly you're not going to put that much on it shooting a gun. But I never once noticed that my bridge was falling or moving or doing anything weird like that. The movement left to right is, as always, it's on linear bearings. It's very smooth. They have wipers built into them. It's a virtually self-cleaning system. If you really want to, you can obviously pull off this and you can blow it out. But the way these linear bearings work is as they move across, they self-clean the rod that they are on. And it's a pretty efficient system. This was out in quite a bit of dirt, as you can see, and never once did it feel like it got gummy or bound up with anything. Again, same as the T-Rex, so I was very familiar with using this. Some of the changes that you can expect to see, I think the uprights are going to change a little bit to help reduce weight. Like I said, you're going to see a different tongue system, and you'll probably see a little more skeletonization. One of the things that I've really talked to Rod about is, if you're going to make a travel model, it's got to weigh as little as possible. Stability comes from the ability to bring the legs out. And, there are plenty of other rests on the market that are lighter, but still have a really good footprint and allow you to have plenty of stability, which is really what happens here. If we look at the Raptor fully deployed, without the feet in it, obviously, but it has a very wide stance, but still gives you enough front and back so that you don't get any kind of rocking. So even if this thing was, 10 pounds, it would be a very stable platform. If you saw my other video, in fact, it's so stable that I had to use, I forgot these locking rings when I went to the range. And so all it was doing was sitting on these square nuts, and it never moved. You can watch that video and see. Something I was talking to him about, it'll be interesting to see because of the way this system is made. It definitely lends itself if somebody wants to, technically make like extended legs. You could actually fabricate something that came out if you really wanted to. He is going to be putting in a slightly different locking system so that you can get a 100% positive lock or just the detent lock, depending on what you want to do. For me, I found that the detent lock was plenty. It's a very strong detent. I don't think over the course of shooting it, I've knocked the detent out of place, no matter what I've done with it. So again, from that aspect, I was really happy. A couple little add-ons. This is the factory joystick, but he is going to be offering this, which is sort of a modular joystick kit. So it does let you customize the length that you want depending on the front stock that you're running. So if you're running something like a Z-Rail, a Macmillan, something really long with a front bag rider on it, you're definitely going to want a slightly longer joystick. So that does give you quite a bit of flexibility there. The feet interchange very, very nicely. You simply pop it out, you put in the other foot, and then you would have a tension lock nut on it. One of the things that I discussed with him, and he's doing now, is before, if you ordered a set of the Phoenix feet, you would have to interchange these nuts. Now, anytime you order a set of feet, it comes with a full set of nuts and washers here so that every foot can act on its own and you don't have to worry about leaving something behind. If you grab one set of feet or a different set of feet, it's not a problem there. Other than that, it operates, like I said, very similar. Well, in fact, identical to a T-Rex. Trying to think if there was anything else that I noticed with this. Again, it was just a very secure system. The smoothness here. I tend to run a really tight joystick that is adjusted, of course, by these two screws right here. Again, I know Rod tends to run a slightly looser one, and I only know that because when I got the rest from him, he had been testing with it, and it was definitely a little looser. So, it gives you plenty of room depending on what your style of shooting is. Other than that, I would say if you were in the market for a T-Rex but wanted something lighter, this is going to be a good option. His lead time as of right now, which we're in, November 2022. Right now, he's just starting production. He estimates shipping full production models in 6 to 8 weeks. So that is his running lead time that he's expecting. So you order one, you should have it in less than 2 months. If you already have a T-Rex and you want to get the Raptor base, you will be able to get one of those almost immediately. It's the other assemblies that are taking longer, and I believe he is shipping Raptor bases like almost immediately. For anybody that's wondering, no, like I said, this is not mine. It was simply like a beta test for me to get feedback on. It is not what the final version will look like. It'll be, 99% of what you see. And, we'll see. I am buying one. I think the compact nature of it, obviously I'll be buying, a Neo X as well. I like both of them. I want to shoot on both of them, really do a side-by-side with them. I think they both offer some very unique features, and they definitely will appeal to different people for different reasons. But I will say that if it comes to pure portability, this is going to be really hard to beat, just simply because of the weight factor that it's going to come in at, and because when it is fully collapsed, it is like that. He is working on some bags and different ways to pack it up. Again, I don't have any of those. It was just shipped in a Pelican case to me. But anyway, I just thought I would do a follow-up because before I got to put this thing back in the mail. And if you have any questions, just hit me up below. As always, appreciate you guys watching. You have a good one. We'll talk later.